What controls you? Think about it honestly. Is it money, recognition, the approval of others, the pursuit of success? For most of us, even when we say we are free, our peace rises and falls with fortune. When fortune smiles, when money flows, when people praise us, when luck seems on our side, we feel unstoppable. But when fortune turns, when money is lost, when people criticize us, when circumstances collapse, we feel broken. This is why the Stoics warned us about slavery, not slavery of the body, but slavery of the soul. They saw clearly that if your happiness, peace, or sense of worth depends on fortune, then fortune is your master. You may walk free in the world, but you live as a prisoner inside. Epictetus, who had actually been born a literal slave, understood this better than anyone. He taught that freedom has nothing to do with chains on the body and everything to do with chains on the mind. No man is free who is not master of himself, he said. Fortune can strip away possessions, status, and health in an instant, but if you have trained your mind, no one, not even fate, can enslave you. So what is the Stoic secret to never being a slave to fortune? It is simple in words, but radical in practice. Detach your peace from external things and ground it in virtue. Everything else, wealth, pleasure, status, recognition, is at the mercy of chance. Only your character, your judgments, your actions are truly yours. Build your happiness there, and fortune loses its power over you. Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in the world, yet he constantly reminded himself of this truth. In his meditations, he wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Here was an emperor surrounded by luxury, armies, and wealth, reminding himself daily not to be owned by fortune. He knew all of it could vanish. Only his mind, his virtue, his choices remained truly his. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men of his age, wrote the same thing. He enjoyed riches, but he practiced detachment from them. He wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Fortune may grant you much, but if you are chained to the craving for more, you are poorer than the man who lives simply and gratefully. Let us pause here. How much of your daily stress comes from being chained to fortune? You want someone to respond a certain way, and when they don't, you feel crushed. You want a project to succeed, and when it fails, you spiral into despair. You want to hold on to money, and when it disappears, you panic. All of this suffering comes not from the event itself, but from your attachment. Fortune changed, and because your peace was tied to it, your peace was dragged along. The Stoics offer us another way. They teach us to train our minds like an archer trains with the bow. The archer controls the stance, the aim, the release. But the arrow's path, once it leaves the bow, whether it strikes the target or is carried off by the wind, that is no longer his to control. A wise archer finds peace not in the target, but in the effort of aiming well. The Stoics tell us, live like the archer. Do your part fully, but release the outcome. This practice changes everything. Imagine pouring yourself into your work, not because of the promise of recognition, but because doing good work is itself virtuous. Imagine loving someone not because you need them to complete you, but because love itself is an act of courage and generosity. Imagine striving toward goals, but holding them lightly, knowing your worth is not chained to whether fortune grants success. That is freedom. That is the Stoic secret. But make no mistake, this is not easy. The world constantly teaches us the opposite. Advertising whispers that peace is one purchase away. Social media shouts that worth is measured in likes, in followers, in comparisons. Modern culture worships fortune, money, success, beauty, status, and tells you to do the same. To resist this is to live against the tide. That is why the Stoics trained daily. They practiced voluntary discomfort. Seneca advised setting aside a few days each month to live with the bare minimum: rough clothes, simple food, no luxuries, and ask yourself, is this what I feared? By doing so, they broke the illusion that fortune's gifts were necessary for peace. If you can live happily with little, fortune loses its grip. They also practiced premeditatio malorum, imagining misfortune before it came. Marcus reminded himself each morning that betrayal, loss, and death could arrive that day. By rehearsing loss, he prepared his soul to remain unbroken when fortune turned. This wasn't pessimism, it was freedom. When you are no longer shocked by misfortune, you cannot be enslaved by it, and they practiced gratitude. Instead of chasing more, they learned to see the abundance already present. Gratitude anchors you in what you have rather than what fortune withholds. Seneca wrote, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Now let's bring this to you. Where in your life are you enslaved to fortune? Is it in your finances, where peace disappears every time the market dips? Is it in relationships, where your sense of worth is chained to how others treat you? Is it in your ambitions, where you cannot rest until you achieve the next milestone? Wherever it is, the Stoic path offers a way out. The way is not withdrawal. The Stoics did not abandon life. Marcus ruled an empire. Seneca advised an emperor. Epictetus taught students. They lived fully, but they lived free. They enjoyed fortune when it came, but they did not kneel to it. They built their peace on virtue, so that whether fortune rose or fell, they remained steady. This steadiness is what we all need in a chaotic world. Fortune will always change. Markets will rise and fall. Relationships will flourish and break. Health will grow strong and then decline. Fame, recognition, possessions, all will eventually fade. If your peace is tied to them, you will ride a constant storm of highs and lows. But if your peace is tied to your own character, you remain like a mountain, weathered but unshaken. Let's imagine two lives. The first lived chasing fortune. This person wakes anxious about their reputation, spends their day comparing their wealth to others, feels jealous at others' success, and fears loss at every corner. When fortune smiles, they are briefly happy, but never secure, because they know fortune is fickle. When fortune turns, they collapse. This person is not free. They are a slave to fortune's whims. The second life is lived with Stoic wisdom. This person still works hard, still loves deeply, still sets goals, but their peace does not rise or fall with the outcome. They are grateful for what they have, steady in adversity, generous in prosperity. They enjoy fortune, but do not cling to it. When it leaves, they remain unbroken. This person is free, even if fortune takes everything away. Which life would you rather live? The Stoic secret is not glamorous. It does not promise endless wealth or constant pleasure or guaranteed success. It offers something greater: unshakable peace, unstealable freedom. Fortune may still test you, but you will no longer be its slave. So how do you begin? Start small. Each day, ask yourself, what is in my control and what is not? Pour yourself into the first, release the second. Practice gratitude for what you already have. Try voluntary discomfort, skip a luxury, eat simply, walk instead of driving, and notice that your peace does not depend on comfort. Imagine loss, not to sadden yourself, but to prepare your soul. And above all, practice virtue. Choose wisdom over impulse, courage over fear, justice over selfishness, temperance over excess. With every choice, you build the foundation of freedom. And when fortune shifts, and it will, you will no longer be owned by it. You will no longer live in chains. You will remain free, steady, at peace. This is the Stoic secret. This is the way to never be a slave to fortune. If this reflection has spoken to you, I encourage you to subscribe and continue walking this path with me. Each week, we dive deeper into Stoic wisdom, not as abstract philosophy, but as living practice for strength and peace in the modern world. And I want to hear from you. Where in your life do you feel most chained to fortune? And what is one step you can take this week to loosen that chain? Share your answer in the comments. You may inspire someone else to break free too, because the truth is, fortune will never stop changing. But you can stop being its prisoner. You can stop being dragged along by its whims. You can build a peace that no storm can steal. That is the gift of Stoicism. That is true freedom, and it is a way worth walking.